It seems around here every town is a sports town. And why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, to compete, because that's how kids learn to lead. And why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. They know sports aren't just about building skill and strength, but about building character. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
I'm Tegan Mason.
I'm Carson Hamill.
I'm Andrew Odden.
On behalf of Mason Ox Ranch.
From everyone here at Odden Charlet.
And on behalf of the Scattered Star Ranch.
From our family to yours.
From the Phillip community, I just want to say thank you.
We thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to thank you, the consumers.
We thank you for choosing beef.
Thank you for choosing beef.
It seems around here every town is a sports town. And why not? Sports were important to us growing up, and we want the same for our kids. To get involved, to compete, because that's how kids learn to lead. And why Farmers Union Insurance supports these programs. They know sports aren't just about building skill and strength, but about building character. Farmers Union Insurance. They don't just protect our community, they invest in it.
Winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
at A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 888-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0%
Winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web.
Okay, we got some on my left at least.
Let me tell you, I can find a few people that'll actually vouch for that too. Looking out at that fence project now.
Hey, that fence project is coming along great, let me tell you about it.
I didn't even look at it.
Yeah, nothing's been done, but I've heard a lot. I'll tell you something. Yeah, unfortunately, I have a feeling it's gonna involve more work on my part than I'm really hoping for.
Well, now it's roll out.
Oh, yeah, cool, you know, thanks for rolling me under the bus. Well, we're gonna get some Webster school that have nothing better to do all summer to come by.
Just a pin. Thanks. Good guess as well.
I have the agendas for you.
Don't I get one?
Yes.
Corn tube, dude?
Exactly.
Good for you.
Grow until the vaccine.
Let me know, Grizzly, how that works for you. All right, gentlemen, ladies, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order. Stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we'll go ahead and, can I get a motion to approve the agenda as presented? Thank you, Marty. Second?
Second.
Joel, thank you. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Public communications. Okay, having no public communications, what I would propose we do is we have for discussion items, item G, which is our insurance proposal. Instead of having everybody wait to item G, how about we move that up so people can get back on the road and get to where they'd rather be tonight than hanging out with us, talking till 9:30.
Thank you.
All right, so Larry, we'll let you take first shot, all right?
Well, first of all, I guess I want to thank you for taking us, giving us the opportunity to come and present a new proposal for property and workman's comp. We're with the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance, which insures Day County, the city of Webster, Aberdeen, Watertown, there's all kinds of municipalities. They're now branching off into the schools sector, and so I brought along all the authorities from Sioux Falls that are going to explain everything to you. So we put together some proposals for you. You're going to find a lot of differences from the policies that you currently have to what we're proposing that you take. But I'm going to turn it over to Lynn, and Lynn is going to explain that to you. And then Dave is also with Public Assurance, and Jim is with our commercial and our management team. So I'll let them take it from there.
Thanks, Dave.
Okay. So first of all, there's no place we'd rather be right now than right here with you guys. So thank you for entertaining our time here, and we appreciate your time, not just to listen to us, but also what you do. I know sometimes being on boards and commissions and councils is not always a thankful job, certainly sometimes thankless, so thank you for that. My name is Lynn Bren, and I am the Deputy Director of the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance. We provide property and liability coverages for public entities across South Dakota. Just as a little bit of history about myself, so I worked for Claims Associates, which is our claims administrator, doing work for this risk pool, but also for the Associated School Boards of South Dakota, school pool, and then also a school pool in Wyoming. So very familiar with some of the exposures that schools face. So I've been very active in looking at our coverage documents and making sure that those documents will also appropriately respond to any questions, problems, claims that our school districts that we are inviting into the pool certainly may face. Pooling is not a new concept. In South Dakota, pooling has been around since 1987. Why a pool? Well, in 1987, commercial markets were not responding well to the exposures being faced by public entities. They simply weren't prepared for the growing exposures that public entities were seeing. So they couldn't either get coverage, or the coverage they could get was inadequate and very expensive. So the legislature created the enabling statutes, and the pools that you see around South Dakota were born. There's the school pools, there's our risk pool, workers' compensation pools, there's health pools, so you'll see a variety of different types of pools, but the pool we're coming here today with is property and liability coverages. So I'm going to turn it over now. Dave Feifley is our executive director. He's going to talk to you a little bit about how, as a pool, we are proactive when it comes to coverage as opposed to reactive. So you're going to see us more in the front end before you have a claim, and hopefully you don't ever have a claim, as opposed to reactive where you don't see us until you have a claim. So Dave, if you want to talk about it.
Thank you for having us tonight. Just to give you a brief background on who we are a team of 6 employees. We are all public employees. We are not in the private sector. We are specifically public sector employees. We're technically municipal league employees. We have 427 members, and they all have to be public entities by statute in South Dakota. We have not been in with schools before, and we think this is a great opportunity to provide what we do to schools as well. And what we have seen over time is pools, like insurance companies, offer what you would say are coverage in terms of, you folks are used to that, but what other things does a pool provide for you? We provide so many proactive services that I just take 2 minutes to tell you what we do. We do loss control, and where we send people out to all 427 of our members, and that's done on a 3-year basis, and they go through all of your operations, all of your properties. They have mountains and mountains of checklists to help you identify how can we prevent claims so we don't have to worry as much about a potential claim. We keep our costs down for coverage, and we protect the public, and in your case, your students, etc. And those are experts that we hire, and they're out of Plankington, South Dakota. And by the way, all our vendors are local South Dakota people. Everyone you deal with, we're all South Dakotans. Us, we team members, all 6 of us, are within the state of South Dakota. We're based kind of all over. Lynn's out of Harrisburg. One of us is out of T. One of us is out of Spearfish. We have a couple members of our team that are up in Fort Pierce. So we're kind of based all across the state. And then our vendors are based both in Plankington, South Dakota, that do the loss control efforts. And then we also have another vendor based out of Sioux Falls, the Claims Associates that Lynn was talking about earlier. So we think that's a good proactive way to stay active with our members, know what your concerns are. And we also have member services that Lynn will talk about in a minute. But we also, every 4 years, we go around and send a person on site to look at all your properties, make sure your property values are accurate. You don't want to overinsure, and you don't want to underinsure, cover what you're going. You want to have the price just right. In case something happens, you don't want to be wasting public dollars if your value is too high. So where we really shine, I humbly submit, is we have what's called employment practices hotlines and government practices hotlines. And we staff those with expert attorneys that will provide any one of our 427 public entity members with 1 hour of free legal advice on any topic under the sun involving public entity operations. Our panel of expert attorneys includes a former Attorney General, Marty Jackley, has attorneys set all across the state. These folks are experts in their field that I personally have vetted, and they are phenomenal attorneys, and they provide our members with a lot of great advice. And I've already confirmed with our panel that we have members of our panel who are attorneys that have 20 to 41 years of school law experience, each one of them, that would be available if you become a member. That hotline is instantly available for the Webster School District. If you have any questions about any unique situation, you get to call the hotline for free. Another thing we do is a government practice hotline. That would probably be falling more with probably all of your operations, but also employment practices hotline. Certainly if you have some teacher contract issues, some other human resources type of issues, we have expert attorneys, one based East River, one based West River, that can help you with all those employment law questions, and they're a great resource that we like to proactively provide to our members. And just to give you an idea of how and how these have operated this year alone. We had the COVID-19 crisis. By the way, Lynn and I are sitting together. We rode in the car together the whole way up. So we work about 5 feet away from each other. So normally it would be social distancing. But anyway, with the COVID-19 crisis, we sent out email blasts to all 427 of our members proactively. And we asked them, is anyone has already enacted some type of protective health measure or is even contemplating it? And we hired the Gunderson Palmer law firm out of Rapid City who has Rich Williams, who happens to be the state's quarantine law expert. And we had them proactively contact and be in constant communication with 85 of our members, both counties and cities, in terms of what can we do, what can't we do, how, and all the issues involving COVID. And we were proactively involved with them. I personally put my cell phone number out there. I'm just telling you a fact. I was getting calls between 7 a.m. up to 12:01 a.m. was my latest one. That's how proactive we are. That's what we do. I've done insurance defense work. I went to law school with Tom, so don't hold that against me, please. But,
Hey. That wasn't hold against me, Dave.
Yeah. But anyway, and I've been practicing 26 years, and I did insurance defense work for many years before I went full-time in the public sector. I've been a state's attorney for Stanley County, and I was a city attorney for Blount, Fort Pierre, and also Sioux Falls was my latest station before I took on this job, and my life has been now completely devoted to public service. All 6 of us lived that mission, but I'm kind of forgetting where I was. But anyway, my mind is racing. I'm happy to be here. Just tell you a personal story. My mom has been a Dade County property taxpayer for 46 years, so we're very familiar with Dade County. In fact, I recall as we were driving into town, the old elementary school building had the red bricks. I remember loading bricks, those school bricks, and taking them back out to Pickerel Lake to make some paver walkways around my folks' cabin. And by the way, my dad did pay for those. I swear. I recall him mentioning it. But anyway, so personally, I would really like to see us be able to add a school. I think Webster would be the perfect place to start. You would be our charter member as a school district to join our pool. And I hope when you see and think about all these additional services that we provide, that it certainly enters into your equation and how you're factoring your decision. So thank you for hearing this.
Okay, now we'll get down to the good stuff. I told Dave I'd let him talk, and can't just bring him along. So member services, so Dave kind of followed a little bit of a script in your folder. The membership benefits, he talked about all of the trainings and stuff like that. And another thing that we do have, if you become a member of the pool, we have tons of online training. So our online training is available, tons of titles, opportunities. If you have little safety meetings that you need a topic for, these online trainings, we've got streaming videos. We also have a DVD library, lots of options. We can give you some title list of the items that we have. We are also looking at adding items that would be more school specific, and we're happy to do that at any time that you might need them. So those are just a couple other extra items that we have out there. Member services, so we would work with Larry and we would come and visit with the district at least once a year to review property valuations, make sure that our property values are appropriate, because like Dave said, our contribution dollars are based on your property values, and if they're too high, then you're paying too much, and if they're too low, then you're underpaying, and we want to make sure that everybody's paying what they need to be paying, because that's part of the whole risk sharing idea, is that we're all in it for each other. We also are there constantly. If you need anything, we get calls all the time about various things, contract questions. The hotlines are always available. So those are some benefits that we talked about. You have our organization chart. So this org chart is on our website also, but it gives you all of our cell phone numbers. So you can find us any time of the day, because we understand that school problems might not just arise during the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, oddly. You know, sometimes they might happen at that football game or a volleyball game or open gym, things like that. Things happen, and so we encourage you to call. Also on that left side of your folder, we have cyber liability coverage. That is built into our liability document. And you may wonder why cyber liability is such a big deal. It probably wasn't as big a deal for our state a couple years ago, but our state introduced the notification statutes. So if we have a breach, we might have some responsibilities that we need to take care of. I'm certainly not an expert in that, nor do I want to be, but we have a guy for that. So we have the cyber liability coverage. If you have a breach, we turn in a claim. The breach coaches that are through our carrier will help you identify what you need to do, when you need to do it, who else needs to be involved, and they'll help work through those processes. We have enhanced crime coverage. That's another little information sheet that is on that left side of your folder. The enhanced crime coverage is a blanket. Basically, one of the primary things we see is like an employee dishonesty type coverage. It's a blanket coverage though. It covers all your full-time, part-time employees, your appointed and elected officials, so your school board members and things like that, and then also any volunteers who might be acting within the scope of their duties as a volunteer with the district. We've only had a couple claims under our crime coverage, but I think our members were happy to have had them. So also that enhanced crime under statute has so far been able to satisfy those fiduciary bonds that you may have to have for like your payroll department and stuff like that. They need to be bonded. Our finance officers, our auditors, they all are able to satisfy their bonds. The only bonds that we can't satisfy are the notary bonds, because those are personal and they follow the people. These are blanket coverages, so they help take care of that. Okay, so now we're gonna flip to the big side of the folder that everybody's been waiting for. So on the right side of your folder is our quote for coverage. There's a little welcome letter from Mr. Fifley back here. So at the end of the day, our general liability coverage, so we call it general liability. It is all inclusive, all lines of coverage. So right now you have a separate policy for your errors and omissions. They call it their linebacker coverage. So basically what we have done is we say all government liability is going to be covered under one document. We're not going to have multiple policies or coverage forms, because what that does is it honestly opens up an opportunity for some gaps and leaks in coverage, and we didn't want to deal with that. We didn't want that to be an option within our family. So your E&O coverage, your school leaders coverage, that's all under the one line of coverage, okay? So we quoted the same limits as what you've got now at the $3 million. The way you're currently written, you have a $1 million base limit, and then you have a $2 million umbrella. We just wrote the $3 million limit. We don't do an umbrella policy. Your limit is your limit. It is what it is. Auto liability. So the one thing I did notice when we were quoting the coverage is we don't have any buses under your current form, so you must have a contract to help with a busing company. And so what we would do when we were looking at that is ask about the busing contract, just to make sure that all the language is good, that you're appropriately covered as an additional party, maybe under their busing company document, things like that. And that's something that would come up in your member services visit. Auto physical damage, we quoted your autos at the same deductibles that you've got now. Property, including any inland marine. So we have a basic schedule. If we are able to bring you into the pool, what we'd like to do is really sit down and go through what your property is and put better values at each of those locations, and then make sure that we've got some contents associated with different locations instead of just having this blanket limit, because again, that just makes sure that we're in the right ballpark as far as numbers and stuff like that. So again, making sure that your pricing is exactly where it should be. We talked about the enhanced crime coverage, and I encourage you, if you're having trouble sleeping tonight, you go ahead and start reading that cyber page and then flip to the crime. You'll be sleeping like a baby in about 3 paragraphs. And then, so then we get your subtotal. We would, because right now the way your coverages are written, you've got claims made coverage, which means the coverage in effect at the time the claim is made, not necessarily when it happens, is the coverage that applies. So you've got some claims made coverage, and so if you leave that carrier, then what we would need to do is write you some retro coverage, meaning we'll go back and pick up those claims that weren't made, because our coverages are all occurrence. So we would we would cover the claims that happened while you're with us. Okay. So that's kind of that first page. We'll kind of go through real quick the government liability program. So that's our general liability. Sublimits are listed there. We've got some injunctive relief. That would be types of claims where they want something from you, change of a decision, but they don't want any money damages. You might see that as a non-monetary claim later in life, or as we talk more about coverages and stuff like that. We've got some broad legal defense fund coverage, so if you turn in a claim and that claim is denied, but you still have a claim to defend, we will take care of some of those legal expenses for you. You just turn them into us and we'll get you some reimbursement for that. Property of others, fire, legal liability. So this is if you lease property, and in that lease it says that you have to be responsible for fire damage even if it's not your fault. So that's just, we offer a $100,000 limit included. We do have a $1 million sublimit for the sexual abuse and molestation claims. Through our research, we found that that's pretty common in the pooling world, and that's kind of where we're at for now. Hopefully we never, ever, ever, ever have to talk about that, but if we do, just know that that's where your limit would be for those types of claims. You'll note on this page it says a $5,000 deductible for employment-related claims. And there's 2 stars by it, and there's a little paragraph that says, you're gonna take a look at that employment practices hotline brochure, because what that does is if you have an employment-related situation, you're gonna give our hotline a call for free, and you're gonna talk through that situation with counsel, and as long as you call the hotline and follow advice of counsel, if, say you're gonna fire Lynn Bren, and you call the hotline and walk through it, and you fire her, and then she turns around and makes a claim, then we waive that $5,000 deductible, because we've already kind of gotten a foot in the door. We know what the defenses are gonna be. We know you did it the right way according to your handbook and according to state law and according to whatever teacher's contracts you have and stuff like that. So we're just one step ahead. And so that's why we put the deductible plan in place, to encourage our members to call so that we can, again, start mitigating those claims before they happen. Most of the time they don't come back to be a claim, but if they do, we're ready. Okay. And then just a little bit more about the coverages there. Occurrence-based coverage is, in my mind, better, because you know exactly, it's clear, this is the date it happened, this is the coverage that applies. Claims made, it trickles a little bit, and that's okay. We'll get you covered. Auto liability. So the thing with our auto liability coverage is, it is based on state law. Our liability coverage, if you're driving a school-owned vehicle, ours is primary. We've quoted the $3 million coverage. If you are driving a personal auto for school business, your personal auto policy is primary, and then we would pick up any excess as long as you're on school business. And you're going to see that. That's consistent with state law and case law. There is medical expense coverage. That would not apply to employees because they're going to be covered by your work comp coverage. And then we do have some uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. We only write a $50,000 per person, $100,000 per accident. That's probably a little different than what you have. We did some research to find out if that was an appropriate limit. And based on the types of injuries we were seeing, we felt that that was a good place to be, because what this coverage does is it actually stands in the shoes of somebody else who was at fault for an accident. So if Lynn Bren's driving down the road with no insurance and she runs into Mr. Sanders as he's driving in his school car to a conference, so what this coverage does is it stands in the place of my shoes. You're already taking care of your employees with the work comp coverage, probably offering health insurance benefits and stuff like that. So you're already taking care of them while they're on the job. This is just kind of a bonus coverage, and most of us have this type of coverage on our own personal auto policy as well. So those limits, a lot of research poured into that before making those decisions on that amount. The next page is the schedule. So we got very little information from your EMC coverage, so we based our quote based on the numbers that we had. Like I said, if you come on board, this statement is going to look a lot different. There will be some different numbers on here. Just to make sure we are where we need to be as far as coverage limits and stuff like that. Our property coverage is open peril, meaning it's covered unless there's an exclusion that applies, and it's also blanket limit. So at the end of the day, if, say we have location 1-1 is the K-12 school, and it says $14.5 million, but at the end of the day, say your total blanket limit, so the total property schedule we have, if the total value we have is $17 million, you would actually have up to the blanket limit, even though that line item says $14.5. hopefully we never have to deal with that, but those are just things to think about. It's not, and we do not have a co-insurance clause. So your limit is your limit. When we roll up, if there's too much, okay, then we need to look at next time at a member visit, making sure all our values are in place. But if there's not enough, there's no penalty, except the limit is the limit. A lot of commercial policies will have what's called a co-insurance clause, where if you're not covered up to a certain value of your total insured properties, they will penalize you. So you just want to make sure to be cautious of that and talk through it. Contents, blanket limit. So as long as there's contents coverage listed at one location, even if it's $100 in contents, you get access to the blanket limit. So it's nice because we've got a little bit of flexibility. If we've got contents that move from one place to another and we didn't know about it, we're not stuck to just that number. Okay? On coverage, another important thing in my mind is you have me on your side. So when Claims Associates comes out and they start talking about coverage, if there's something you're concerned about, you can call me, because not only did I work at Claims Associates and was the claims manager at the end of my term there, I also helped write the coverage documents. So we've got some really good authority on our side as far as why things should go the way we want them to. So, we're going to do what's fair to you, also keeping in mind what's fair to all the other members as well. But you've got a solid liaison here, I think, and Larry has been on our team for many, many years, and we really enjoy working with Larry, and he'll call me and tell me how it is. He's not afraid. So the summary quote at the back just breaks down again, individually lined, like what your deductibles are, what the limits are. It's just a quick, easy page to talk about when you look dollar for dollar, line for line. So that's kind of the 35,000 feet. Larry, do you have anything you want to point out or talk about?
Well, a few things that you made was the per occurrence and the claims made. That is huge. That's why you have to buy the 2 years of retro. Something may come up that was done a couple of years ago, it might come against you. If you had a per occurrence, you wouldn't have to buy those. But you need a CYA in the meantime, so Jamie, I've worked with Jamie quite a few times. Joel, I think I've worked with you a few times. Tom is always there to answer questions, but Claims Associates and South Dakota Public Assurance with the county and the cities, the townships that I've got, when there's a problem, we call them up and boy, they're here and they take care of it, and it's no questions asked. And that's what I really like about the pool. You get into the pool to save money in the long run. With down the line, you didn't talk about retentions, but retentions down the line, your premium gets more retentions, comes off your premium. So the first year is the most expensive. After 10 years, you're vested. You get, I don't know what you get for retentions, but just to give you an idea, if you got a $3,500 retention next year, your premium just went down $3,500 bucks. The pool has not raised their premiums a whole lot in the 15 years I've been selling it. They kind of handle on their own, and they're not for profit. They make a little bit, but they kind of keep that pool so everybody can afford it, and that's what they want. So it's a little bit more expensive to get into it, maybe to start, but in the long haul, you're going to find that it's very, very worthwhile. The county has been with them for, I have over 30 years. It's been a long time. The city has been with them 25, 30 years. Townships that I've got in the area have been with them now for 10, 12 years. They're all happy with it. They like it. They really like those dividends or retentions.
Yes. So the retentions that he's talking about are credits. And I did have our underwriter run me some examples. So if, let's say you were a renewing member rather than a brand new member. So just based on current distribution credits, you would have saved in a renewal credit, which the only thing you have to do to get your renewal credit is turn your packet in on time. There's a due date. You've got about 6 weeks from the date you get it to the date it's due to turn your packet in. It would be a savings of about $563 based on your the current numbers as they sit. Loss control, all you have to do is every 3 years we come out and we do a loss control survey. Loss control rep will give you some recommendations, maybe or maybe not. Sometimes we have A+ customers, and that's awesome. They will, once you've complied with their recommendations, for 3 years you get loss control credits in the first.
What if you don't?
If you don't
Comply with that loss control.
Then you don't get the credits. And depending on how severe it is, if it's something significant, we may exclude an exposure. We have yet to do that. because usually when we say, okay, if you're not gonna do these things, then we can't cover a claim. I mean, it has to be pretty aggressive for it to come to that, but we will, because we need to protect the interests of all the members, and we don't want to set a bad example for all of our other members. No, we do have the opportunity to exclude certain exposures if it's serious enough. We haven't done that yet, but it is something that we have the ability to do. But for loss control, it would have been about $1,700 based on your current contribution. And then we have a loss ratio credit, meaning that as long as your claims dollars to your contribution dollars is less than 60%, then you get a loss ratio credit, and that would have been $1,500, assuming that you, again, were a renewing member rather than coming into the chute. So those credits, your loss control credits, you qualify the first year, they're good for 3, and then they come back out. And the things that they ask about are not surprising. A lot of the things are common sense things. And again, they're just there to make sure that we're not putting ourselves in bad claim situations. And they're very good. Our Safety Benefits is our loss control vendor. They are phenomenal in offering resources. If they say, hey, you need a policy about this, they're not gonna say, hey, you need a policy, good luck. They're gonna say, hey, you need a policy, and by the way, here's 7 options, or here's 3 options, or whatever. We're gonna help you. We want you to get those credits because that means that you're in a better place, less likely to have claims, and if we have a claim, we're in a better place to defend it because we know that we've got good risk management processes in place, we've got good loss control opportunities. So again, just by having those things, it's circular. If you do it, you're gonna either not have claims or they're gonna be easier to defend, we're gonna resolve them quicker, and then we can move on. So, helps keep costs down.
With the pool, there's no parent company, or is there a combination of parent companies?
So the pool is the pool. You would only deal with the South Dakota Public Assurance Alliance. Like you, we do purchase reinsurance, so we have a retention, and then we work with reinsurance on any losses above our retention. Okay. But no, the pool.
Your assets?
Our financials are all out on our website. You can go anytime of the day and click on SDP. You can see all of our audited financials. You can see what our assets are, what our liabilities are, where all of any of our investments are, and stuff like that. Every year we work with an auditor and an actuary to set our rates to make sure that we collect only what we need.
Do you have a rating like other insurance companies?
No. Nope.
It's private, like your farms?
Private sectors are a little bit different because they're for profit. When you're not for profit, you don't have those ratings like an A+ or a B or whatever.
Okay.
The poodle, as far as I can tell, 20 years that I've been selling it, we have not had a problem one. And we've had some fairly
we don't
large
want to be
claims.
the first problem.
We've had some fairly large claims. Well, we're worried about Joel, but.
I'm worried about your loss control guy.
Yeah,
I am.
They're awesome. We've had several claims with Day County, and they're not uncommon. Everybody, I think, in this room probably knows a lot about them. Boy, they settled those just bang, and they did a very good job at it. Saved the pool a lot of money from what they could have spent.
Are your deductibles set?
We have differing deductibles and stuff like that. And I gave Larry some different numbers because really when you look at it, like right now you have a $5,000 property deductible. I gave Larry the numbers for a $1,000 property deductible because honestly the difference in contribution between a $5,000 deductible and $1,000 isn't more than $5,000. So that, to me that doesn't make sense because the odds are you're probably going to have at least one property claim, right? So you've already eaten up any savings that you realized in your contribution dollars. So
we're
honestly,
trying to compare an apple to an apple is what we were trying
Right.
to do as close as we could get. So
yeah, so that's why we quoted the 5, but I gave Larry those.
On claims, are they are fixes done ACV or are they replacement cost?
We have you quoted for replacement cost coverage. So the way that works is you would receive an actual cash value payment up front, and then once the repairs are completed, then you would be entitled to the depreciation holdback.
How about the blanket numbers? Who establishes it? You got underwriting?
So Safety Benefits comes out and they would work with you guys to establish values on all of your buildings, and then we would work with you to get those firmed up.
If you decide to go with our pool, we're going to have the team come up and they're going to actually assess every building and all the inventory and put the library inventory in the library. We're going to put the athletic field in the athletic field. We're going to put the vocational school in the vocational school, the armory in the armory.
So those values are determined by the people that are doing that?
Yes,
Yep.
well, and the board approving, you know.
Right, we would work with you guys.
When
to
was the
make
last
sure that
time you've
you're-
seen anybody appraise anything from EMC or your current carrier?
They did come out and do, I can't remember, but it was like 2 years ago.
Yeah. We're also going to put a book together. We're going to take snapshots of all your stuff and put it in a pamphlet. And then from that, you're going to know that the main school is X amount of dollars, the property in the library is so much, the property in this is so much, the computers are so much and everything, so you know exactly where you're at.
So what you mentioned that the blanket numbers are what they are, so you're eligible up to that number?
Yes.
Right, so for any one location, you would have up to the blanket limit. And that's why it's important to make sure that we have each
You're at
individual
3.6
location.
right now.
Okay. But if underwriting sets the limit, wouldn't that be whatever it is?
The
I haven't found
I shouldn't say underwriting.
I haven't found yet where they've cut that. If anything, they've increased it because people don't up the values. It's like your home, you know, you've got a new home, so it's pretty easy because this is what you built it for.
Right.
But you take somebody's older home, Jamie just had a windstorm on his older home on the farm. That we have at replacement cost value, and whatever cost to replace it, that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get actual cash value today, and then whatever it costs to fix it, that's what it is, up to the value of the home. You know, it's the same way with, if your armory burned down and you lost the contents in it, we have the contents at, I'm picking a number now, $500,000. That's what you've got up to, and it's the burden of the insured to prove what you had in there. So with the form that we've got of investing everything, showing the values of what we've got in the armory, the vocational school and everything else, we're gonna have that list right there. It's pretty hard to argue that when we update it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just questioning because she said that the blanket limit, you can,
We can
have
move
coverage
that.
up to the blanket limit.
Right.
And if it's at 17, let's just say 1.7 million, but it's been valued at 1.5, but we're paying blanket at 1.7, how do you wouldn't want to be overpaying
No,
than what
that's
your
why we
blanket
want
states.
it.
Right,
We
and
wanna
that's why,
review this, make
yeah,
sure we're
and that's why we would come out and do the valuations, because we want to make
Gotcha.
sure that the 3.6 and, you know, all of those
So when you
values
said that
are
earlier
important.
about the blanket being off and you get up to it, that's highly unlikely that that would happen because you're
Right. Your
Okay.
blanket should always be approximately the total values of all your locations that you have property. So where you may, say we estimate wrong at location B, and say that location number right there is a little short. So say we estimated it at 500,000, but when we rebuild it, it's at 550,000. Well, we have the blanket limit, so we can pay 550,000 on the replacement because the blanket is the total of all of those.
What we've run into realistically is Joel Sinner has the youth football, and he's supposed to store the stuff in the armory, but it was hot and it was muggy and it was late and he wanted to get to happy hour. So he put all the stuff in the storage shed out on the football field, that soccer field, that we have $1,000 worth of contents. All at once we put $5,000 worth of helmets and balls and jerseys. So we have $1,000 coverage on that. If it burns up, we can take it out of the blanket, move that over and cover it. That's what it's for, that's what the blanket is. Clear?
We are, I have quite a few questions, if it's all right. Are you guys okay with, I can let them rip? Are you, Mort, okay? Okay, a couple things. I find this to be very interesting, and I'm very happy you guys came up. Number one, so just so I'm clear, at first, I thought Farmers Union insurance proposal. I'm looking at my agenda and thinking, okay, Farmers Union, I didn't know they were in this business. But this is really more of you as a representative of the pool. Okay, so this is 100% the pool business, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Farmers Union's in the pool?
No.
Farmers, I'm an agent for South Dakota Public Insurance.
Yeah.
When we took on Farmers Union, we bought the Larson Agency, and Ron Ben Dixon, if you remember him, had an agreement with the South Dakota Public Insurance.
Okay.
We didn't think that was worthwhile to let that slide. He had nothing else to buy. So we went down and got trained with South Dakota Public Insurance, the agent assistant and myself. And we've taken that on. Now that they've seen what the county has and the city has and what we have to offer and how we can service them, Farmers Union has decided with the 42 agents in the state of South Dakota to open up the pool to everybody, every agent in Farmers Union throughout the state. So we're slowly expanding it and getting all the cities and the townships and counties.
Well, that makes sense, because for the last 19 years, I've made claims against the pool, and I know that, Lynn, you've signed letters back to my firm on things. You guys have been very good to work with. At the same time, I've also worked with numerous cities, and you guys have been very proactive. I can vouch for how proactive you are with doing the agenda, putting out the best practices. You're aggressive. So let me ask you this question. We'd be the first school?
Yes.
Why is no other school not with you yet? For example, why is not Sioux Falls Lincoln with the pool?
That's coming, Tom, I can answer.
I know, Dave. I want to hear from Dave on that one.
I can tell you exactly. I mean, for many years, there is the Associated School Boards of South Dakota has their own pool, and they have a liability and property pool. And for many years, this is fairly public, that there was a handshake agreement.
Professional courtesy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You folks handle your own. We've got every other type of public entity, and within the last year, Tom, that is no longer in place. We are not, frankly, we're not aggressive in terms of marketing to schools. However, if we are asked to quote, if we have an agent that we have a relationship with that says, hey, why don't you come, and I have some school districts in my area that I think would really benefit, then we're going to come in. Frankly, we're taking baby steps.
Okay.
And
Have you pitched any other
purpose.
schools?
I'm sorry?
Have you pitched any other schools?
We quoted one other school.
We're going to see a lot of it though, because farmers union agents are going to get very aggressive. Since I've been with the pool the longest, they wanted me to be the guinea, and I said, talk to Lori, and let's put this together and see where we're at.
Well, I like having you the guinea pig. I have no problem with that, Larry. One of my questions is, so let's say we do jump on board with you guys, and we are the first school. Hypothetically, we have to go through, it's not an agenda item where I can make a decision tonight. We're going to have another special board meeting here before July 1st in order to make some decisions with our budget team. How aggressive can we get on this school? If we're the first school to jump on board, what advantages can get us on board quicker? That's number one question. Number two question, when I look at the retro coverage for 2 years, the $14,000, one of my favorite statutes, SDCL 3-21-2, that would apply to us, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, realistically, couldn't the pool be pretty aggressive and say, yeah, we only got to worry about 180 days from today. We don't really have to worry about the 2 years, like I'm going to get sold by EMC or any other insurance company because of that statute. I think the South Dakota Supreme Court is solid. If you're at day 184, you're out of luck. That's been one of the pool's best defenses, has it not?
I'd rather not get into, Tom, a legal discussion with you on the statutory notice provision. As you know, read up the substantial compliance case law.
Sure.
It was coming out of the state Supreme Court in the 1990s, and that may temper that opinion. With due respect, my friend, but I think that's an issue. But anyway, I'll let Lynn talk about in terms of potentially some other items.
So, yes and no. It's certainly up to you guys to decide if you want the retro coverage or not.
Sure.
We offer it. I bring it up because if we have anybody who is even considering leaving, we want to let them know, listen, there are some things that you need to protect yourself. It's an option. It's not required for you to purchase it, but we put it out there. There might be some sovereign immunity arguments depending on the types of claims, but there are also some types of claims where minors may be involved. That may be, and since we have a building full of minors, those are some things that we've kind of overseen. Just from my claims experience, those were some things that we had to think about as far as statute of limitations, notice requirements, and stuff like that. So, yes and no. I think there are some great legal arguments to be made, but it's something that the district will have to think about and consider what statutes do you have on your side and how can those be utilized when considering whether or not to purchase that retro coverage.
Well, and what I'm looking at here is to be honest with you, everybody in this room knows about how tough school funding is in the state of South Dakota. Basically a $74,000 quote is the equivalent of 2 entry-level teachers.
Right.
That's a big deal. And when we're negotiating with salary for staff, and we're looking for every dollar we can save so we can get it back into teachers. to hire the best and to reward the best. And I mean, I got to be honest with you, that's what we're looking at every single meeting, is where we could squeeze an extra buck out of our budget. And this is a big deal, a big decision. It's a big factor. Our busing contract is probably the biggest thing next to the staff. But then if you were to look at, other line items right on down the budget, this insurance item is something that is a major factor in our decision making. So I think the pool does offer a lot of advantages. I guess what I would, getting back to the original part of the question, or maybe I shouldn't have jumped in on that 3-21. I mean, is there a way we could be more aggressive with this quote if we did jump on board with you right away and we're the poster child for doing something? Could we have those conversations? At least promise me that.
I can talk to you about it, but I will
That's
also
fair.
tell you that unlike the commercial carriers, we can't buy business. So I can't give you a rate that is $25,000 this year and then inch you up, because our rates are set based on,
There's no other school. We're the first school.
Exactly. And we appreciate that. We would love to have you be the
See, we're
first
setting the
school.
rate.
You are setting the rate. But the rates are based on knowing that we've collected exactly or as close to exactly what we need to cover anticipated claims based on trends, histories, and we don't have a ton of history in our pool, so we look to other pools. Hey, what are you seeing in the area? What types of claims are you having? And that factors into the rate. So we're not for profit, so we're not over collecting, so we don't have a lot of that fluff to
The
cut.
retro is what's really killing you.
No, it's actually not. I mean, I look at it just as an opportunity, Larry. I mean, the retro, I respect the 2-year statute. I absolutely respect that. I think we could, if we were looking for a way to be aggressive, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Sure.
If we are going to, jump in bed, switch carriers, and I will tell you that we want to give our current carrier a chance to have a time to present just as much, out of fairness to them. But if we were to switch, then I want to be as aggressive as possible on it. At the same time, I mean, I'm negotiating for the Webster School District and flat out negotiating against you guys. I mean, we want to get the best possible deal.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at.
We put together workman's comp with independent insurance. That's what Jim is here for.
Okay.
That is lower than where you were at. If we pool those together, we're going to be closer, but we're not there yet. But
And you have 2 years quote.
Yep.
If you want one, it's basically, taking off the second year is about $7,400 less.
Okay.
So if you want 1 year retro, that's an option. So we can do that. And we quoted the retro at $1 million limit to help bring that down. If
Okay.
you want higher limits, then that's something too that we would have to take a look at. And we can throw all of those numbers around.
Well, I did appreciate how you gave the example of the 5,000 to the 1,000. Maybe should we also be looking at the 1,000 to the 10,000?
We can do that.
I mean, is that something that could assist us? Because to be honest with you, if we have a catastrophic claim, 9,000 versus 1,000, I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's,
Sure.
it's chicken and egg. Okay?
Yes, and we can work with Larry, and whatever deductible options you want, liability deductible, no liability deductible, big deductible, little deductible, those are all things that we can talk about, and those are ways to change some of those numbers and massage them a little bit. It's just a matter of how we want to manage your risk or help you manage your risk.
Sure.
We have 2 underwriters as part of our 6-member team, so it's not like we've got to send it off out of state and wait for several days. We just either yell across the hallway or
Sure.
Send an email.
send an email to our internal team. We have 2 underwriters.
In all fairness, let me ask you this then, from the pool's perspective, what is the one weakness that you feel you have that when the commercial guys come in and they're pitching? What's the thing they try to bludgeon you with, saying by being the pool, they're not as good as us at
we're a nonprofit, they're profitable, they have to make more yet on those premiums.
Sure. But what do they use against you?
What they do, Tom, if bluntly, is they're able to buy that business that we can't do. They come in and they will undercut us with a price, and it looks very attractive. And I was a Stanley County State's Attorney. I lived in Fort Pierre. Believe me, we were a county of 2,300 people. I know exactly what you're talking about here. We had a horrible financial crunch. And all the defense lawyers knew I couldn't take anything to a jury trial because frankly, Stanley County could not afford a jury trial back in 1990. I totally understand the number crunch, but again, I think, quite bluntly, where we beat them out is over time, we're stable. That's why we have the formula in place, and how we do things is we stay very stable. It's a lot easier. All of our 11 board members are public officials, just like you guys, in South Dakota. They get it. We have the Harding County auditor. Damn right she gets exactly what it means to be struggling out of a county of 800 people. She gets it. And she's telling us, you got to do this, you got to do that. Those are our bosses, guys. We get it.
So basically,
we want to keep things stable because as you're budgeting year after year, we don't want all those fluctuations. If you go private, I guarantee it. You're almost guaranteed you're going to get all those fluctuations. It's really hard to set your budgets every year, but with us, you pretty much know, other than this time with the retro, take that away, you pretty much have a pretty good idea. That's kind of where our line item will be. We keep it pretty steady all those years.
So basically, I mean, I really appreciate that argument. So from your perspective as to coverage and everything I've seen on both sides, I think you're just as solid as a commercial. I mean, anything else we're missing on the actual practices of the pool, Dave? I mean,
in full candor, Tom, I used to do insurance defense work for EMC, and I really enjoyed working for them. I mean, and I got to be candid. I did enjoy it, and they're a good company. However, they don't do what we do. Nothing of what we do. All the member services, all the people coming on site and all that, and the proactiveness that we are, and the thousands of cases I've defended for, you name the insurance company, chances are I've probably done it in South Dakota. And by all means, they're solid companies. However, they're not being proactive like we are, and they're not keeping the stable, steady rates. That's how we started as a pool back in the middle 1980s, about 1986, is when all this was percolating, where you had this insurance crisis. Every private insurer was leaving the market for public entities, and there was a crisis where the municipal league, the county commissioners associations got together and said, we got to create our own pool. They lobbied the legislature, we got that in place. The associated school boards, they're kind of under that same, it's under 1-24, it's all there. We're all based on joint agreements with all of us, so we're all in this together. Our leadership is public officials in South Dakota. Everything is done local. We get it better than anybody, and we keep it stable. That would be my blunt answer to that, Tom. That's how it is.
Is lawyer Jim going to have one person that they deal with in your office? It is you. Okay. And I do worry about loss control. Loss control is a big deal. Jim's not going to get 8-page reports every other month of things that he's got to address or fix.
No, it's going to be, it'll be a one-time, it might be a couple days because of the facilities, but you'll see safety benefits come out, they'll meet with you, they'll walk the grounds with you, they'll maybe meet with some other heads, or if you're the guy, then you're the guy, and they'll go through, okay, this is our checklist, these are the things that we'd like to see and things that need to be corrected. You've got a window to go ahead and get those accomplished, or if you need an extension or you need resources, you need help, you give us a call, and then at the end of that time, you've complied with all the recommendations, we've fixed it, we've made it work, or we've set up some other recommendations. Maybe there's something that's just not going to work. Okay, well then how about this alternative? And then for 3 years you've qualified for loss control credits, and you won't hear from anybody again unless you have a question. If you have something you need, like, hey, we're looking at a different type of track material. What do you find? Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Or hey, we've got different playground equipment. What surface cover do we need? Is this something, is it commercially graded? Those types of questions. Those are the things that we see coming in from parks all the time. We've got counsel on staff to answer those questions about, hey, we have this special situation where maybe we have a difficult child that we need to address and they need a special circumstance. Okay, well, let's get panel counsel involved, and maybe, a school attorney can work with panel counsel and come up with something that satisfies those unique situations. Another thing that's different, kind of switching bases a little bit, so when I started in insurance 20-some plus years ago, I worked for the commercial carrier. And I can tell you that my attitude then was, I got the claim and it was what I wanted to do with the claim when I was done with it. When I started at Claims Associates and towards the end I trained most of the adjusters that are still there, that's not how the pool runs claims. As members, you have a say. You get input on how your claims are handled because at the end of the day, this really does impact you and it impacts the other members. So you've got buy-in, you've got involvement, you're gonna get calls. You know, and if you need an adjuster, if you need us to come up here and talk to you about stuff, we're here, we're coming up. I don't know how many times you've had claims, hopefully not a lot, where you've had to have an adjuster come and visit you, but your adjuster's probably coming from EMC, probably Fargo, maybe Bismarck, maybe even West Des Moines, depending on what type of claim you have and the severity. So it's just something to think about being local. Our adjusters recognize what's going on in South Dakota, whereas those adjusters from those commercial carriers may not be as in tune. I know I wasn't.
So let me ask you then, one of the big ones, you know, the general liability at $3 million. Was that the number, to be honest with you, I don't know what our general liability is. Is that what our general liability is?
You have a $1 million with a $2 million umbrella, which calculates to $3 million.
Okay, so we have one with the 2 umbrella.
Yep.
Right. So where's Claims Associates at in, you know, the pool with communities? What are they seeing? What do you think of that $3 million umbrella, or $3 million total general liability cap?
Well, we do have a quote for 5.
Well, and to be honest, that's fair because nowadays hospitals are expensive. You know, somebody's driving down the road and they hit the wrong person and they're helicoptered to Sioux Falls and, you know, they spend 5 months in intensive care. I have a concern. So, I mean, where are you guys at on that?
Defer to this expert over here.
So when I was doing claims at Claims Associates, 3 is appropriate. We never had claims that high. I mean,
Right.
knock on all of the wood in the world. But you're right. I mean, unfortunately, society is becoming more litigious. It just is. It's always somebody else's fault. And you're right. When you run into, like, you're driving down the road. Now, with your busing contract, your auto liability, you probably don't need to worry about that as much because you're not, the vehicles that you are covering, they're not taking out semis or busloads of kids. You will be taken out by those vehicles.
Right.
But not, you know, the severity isn't quite as urgent. General liability, so that's everything else.
But you feel like, but across the pool, I mean, you have how many? 427, you said?
427.
Pretty good to remember at least that 427. That many claims over that $3 million aggregate?
$5 million, just to give you an idea, though.
Yeah.
Is $55,375 for the same coverage.
$43,000 more to go up to $3 million?
That's not the, yeah, that's, yeah. When you start jumping, that gets to be expensive.
Wow.
Yep. But I did quote it just to give you a, no, you're not that high.
No. I'm like, no, it's not.
I was like, wow.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that's what I was sitting there
No,
worried.
look at just the liability line.
The liability line on.
General liability.
General liability is 14,923.
Yeah.
So 2,000
Yes.
for an extra $3 million.
Yes.
I thought you were total package.
Okay.
For an extra 2.
Yes, for an extra 2.
Oh, yeah, excuse me, yes,
2 million.
I wasn't good at math, that's why I became an attorney.
Yeah.
Well, once you're in the door, that's the big, getting in the
Yes.
door, then
Right.
if you go higher, Tom, it's a little
Fair,
less. Yeah.
okay.
So that's something you can obviously explore.
Right.
And you can do that with the current year and still buy the $1 million retros if that's the way you want to do it.
Right. Yeah.
I have 2 simple questions that might be pretty easily answered. Your legal counsel, you said you had West River, East River. Will we be redundant with, who do you have? You said Marty Jackley is one, or?
We have several attorneys. In terms of the government practices hotline, which is every question that isn't employment related, we have about 10 attorneys across the spread
Do you
across the
currently
state.
use the attorneys that serve as school attorneys?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Several of them are, yep. We have, on our current panel list, we have the Rapid City School District's attorney who's been there since 1979. So he's got Chris Palmer, 41 years, who is Marty Jackley's partner, by the way, but he's got 41 years of experience. And we have Lisa Marceau, who's the Brandon City attorney. She does quite a bit of school law also. But to give you an idea, for employment practices hotline. Lisa Marceau handles East River, and she's only practices in employment law. Then we have Sarah Frankenstein, who's in Rapid City, handles West River. So you folks would fall under East River, so it might be Lisa Marceau. Kim Dorsett is another panel counsel attorney from Aberdeen, and she's done quite a bit of school law also, and worked with the hotlines as well. So chances are it would be probably one of those folks. And again, it depends on hotline call is what it means. Right. It's immediate. They need immediate assistance. If, say, our first attorney we contact can't take the call, we demand they call you back immediately, not, but we'll get to them when we can. That's immediate. If they can't get to you, we keep going down the list. But again, I've met them personally, and they are all great attorneys, very expertise.
Rodney Freeman involved with you?
No.
Okay.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So my second question is more of a budgetary thing for Lori and myself. When we start to put the preliminary budget together, we always look at line items, everything line by line. We see where we were at with the current budget, maybe the year before, and then we make decisions based on between you go up 3%, 5%, whatever. Insurance is one of those where we can't make that decision because it's based on what we hear from the insurance company.
Right.
I need a scenario of how do we determine, I mean, do we have to wait until we get new values, or?
So the next part for you
You're making it sound
is,
steady. How steady is that? Is it a 3% increase, a 5% increase? Is it very steady, or?
for you, the nice part is you renew mid-year. So we set our rates at the end of the year. So like your rates that we quote you on now are set at the end of the previous year. So we'll know what your rates will be because you're a 7-1.
Okay.
So you can call me in January and say, okay, assuming these numbers, you could even ask for your renewal packet in January, honestly.
Yep.
And you can fill that out and we can say, okay, here's your renewal packet, here's what your invoice would be, and then but it's not due until July.
That's where I come in, Lori. We could spend a few hours at the coffee shop and go over those numbers and fill out the form for you.
Do we get a deduction for that?
Yeah. Tom, going back to your liability question with a $5 million, if you go with $0 deductible, it was $14,900.
Okay.
You talked about going to higher deductibles.
Yeah.
A $5,000 deductible drops it down to $12,983.
Well, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I mean, we'd be at the 5 and keep the same contribution amount, for an extra $4,000 we're having on a possible deductible.
But that was at $5 million if you wanted to upgrade.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you like the product and we get to the point where you're interested, then, if you want more coverage, if you want less coverage, we can, look at those things. And those are things that I'd be delighted to come back up and sit down with anybody and talk about.
So then, the key thing is then on 2 hours back to Sioux Falls, or an hour and 50 minutes, whatever it is.
Well, it depends on what time we get out of here and where the weather is.
We can figure out, I'd still like to see if we're the #1 school that gets on board with you. What can we do? What can we do to be a little bit aggressive? Because I respect the stable line, and I don't want to keep you guys here forever. You guys have given a great presentation.
Thank you for the time.
We could talk for an hour. I mean, is there anybody else that's got a question?
If you want to talk for an hour, we'll stay for an hour.
I know you will. I will talk for an hour. These guys don't.
One other quick question.
What about workman's comp?
We've got 3 over here.
My third question is, how often do you come out and do the assessments for like the valuation?
Property values? Every 4 years. So you get within the first, I want to say 90 days, but since we had the COVID, our property guys they were on pause for about 12 weeks, so now they're trying to catch up with all the others. So certainly within the first 6 months, you're going to see a safety benefits rep come up here, and he's going to say, okay, who's coming with me? I need to see all your properties. He'll take pictures and do some drawings, get some measurements, and then they do a booklet, and then Larry will come back and look at what your values are and stuff like that, and then go through all the other schedules that we would normally see. So we want to make sure we picked up all your tractors and mowers, and if you've got like your band equipment, we want to make sure that that's on a schedule somewhere, so when it's out and about, we've got it covered, because there are certain ways that things need to be covered so that we can track them properly. So all of that goes into safety benefits, and Larry and I, and
If you go back and look a few years ago when steel roofing and everything it just went through the roof. It tripled during the 2008 storm. Dane County had a lot of metal buildings at that time. We were doing them every 2 years because of the price increase of steel. So it depends on the market and what's going on. That's where I fit into that, because I'm seeing claims on farms as well as homes. If I see the steel prices are going through the roof, hey, come on out, we need to reassess these bills, and they're there.
Yeah.
They're very good about that. So.
And we do trend automatically. Our property is trended 3% every year. So that's our built-in inflation card. So that will help make sure that we're always at least doing some sort of cost of production increase. Some of our members ask for more. We do 3 automatically. So, and honestly, you ask about rate fluctuation. When we look at our rates, it's usually the changes actually due to changes that our members have made, whether in your case it'll be student count on the liability. If you've got a fluctuation in student count, that will impact your liability. On property, it's going to be values. If you add equipment or take equipment off, those fluctuations are going to impact, honestly, your bottom line dollars more than the rate structure, because oftentimes what we're seeing is our liability rates and our property rates, the way they massage each other, we'll see no more than maybe a 2 to 5% increase overall, just because one will go up and the other will go down, and we're able to make those adjustments. So historically, that's about where we've been. Where some people are seeing, I know some schools, not that we have offered coverage to yet, but some schools saw a 50% increase in their property line alone. And our goal would be never, ever, ever to come to you with a 50% increase. Because we've got enough membership where you start spreading those costs out among all the members, so you don't have to have such an impact.
Good. Now we'll go to Lori's favorite, workman's comp.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to have
Thank you for the time.
Jim,
Yes.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dave. If you guys want to take off, feel free. We don't want.
Larry brought us.
Okay.
They can't leave there, I'll take them.
We're gonna hang
You
out.
left his keys in there, I'd go.
Yeah.
Well, this is just real brief, because what we did here is we just tried to do an apples-to-apples quote. And so we went with Dakota Truck, which is the RAS on Sioux Falls. And basically, we did the 500 coverage, because that's what you have. And then what you'll see on there, and there's a lot of things that we can't change on here, is like your mod rate. On there, you'll see it's 1.30, because you've got some claims out there that just have to kind of drip off the system. So no matter who takes this over, they're going to inherit that mod rate. So the biggest thing is we got to just get the mod rate down. So fewer accidents, going to be a better premium.
Where is our mod rate on here?
You'll see it right on that page. It's called the expense mod. It shows 1.3
Okay, here we go.
and it's charging $6,500. And now they do quite a few schools, RES does, and so they did give us a 9%, and that's just kind of what they're doing for schools, just because they're saying, hey, we can give you a discount. So they threw that discount back into us. You were asking if we can get more. I can ask for that. I don't know if we'll get any more out of them, but I can certainly ask for that. The biggest question that we get asked all the time is, well, how's COVID fit into your work comp? It doesn't. If that's, and I know that I get asked that question all the time. And it just depends on your state, but you've got to be able to show that the disease or the illness came from the workplace. You got to show that it came from the workplace and it didn't come because you were filling your gas at the gas pump or whatever. It's got to generate from there. So I get asked that question all the time. If you were working in a nursing home, possibly. If you were a doctor working with COVID patients and that's what you did and you got it, you've got a possibility of getting work home. If one of our students gets it, probably not, because we don't know if the teacher gave it to them or they gave it to the teacher. So that's kind of where we're at with that. So I get asked that question sometimes, so I bring it up. So. But yeah, this is just an apples to apples. You can see that the 500 goes up $173. If you went up to $1 million, that's probably be a couple $100 more if you have $1 million coverage across the board. You can go higher than that, but typically you don't see claims for much higher than that on overcover. Especially in the school system, you're not seeing that big of claims. Very seldom do you see the disease size claim on the school system.
Agree with that, Tom?
I agree.
Why is that second rate so much higher?
That's basically your teachers have $2 million and $2.4 million in teacher salaries and administrative salaries.
What is that second
The
classification?
$209,000 is your cooks and your janitors and
cooks and drivers.
Non-professional.
That seems high.
It is, but you have more of them. They have more prone to getting burned or scalded or.
Can we look at that? Reclassifying?
What?
At reclassifying that group?
That's all done by the work comp.
I don't think I have anything to do with that.
No, that has.
You don't get a say, we do.
I give, oh,
No.
no. They just tell me, I give them the numbers. They tell me what groups I have to put them in, and I just give them the numbers.
You give us a job description.
Huh?
A truck driver's under this class, a cook is under this class, a teacher's under this class, insurance agents are.
Oh, I know. I do like quite a bit of it.
Yeah.
But you're not a roofer or somebody like that.
He owns Webster Scale.
Oh, okay. So.
When you look at that.
Yeah,
But
so
the risk pool of work comp assesses those groups, so it puts them in. And it's actuarials that figure out that rate, and all actuarials are not wired right in my book. They crunch numbers. Any questions of work comp? Work comp was less than where you were at.
So you're a part of the pool as well?
No, I'm part of Farmers Union.
You see, okay.
He's our commercial manager and district manager for my area.
Okay.
So when I do anything commercial or work comp or insurance commercial, Jim is my man to go through.
Okay.
We can't know everything. In fact, you'll know that I know very little, but I was president of the 8th grade though 3 years in a row here.
But it's nice to have a guy in town that knows what he's doing and get a hold of whoever he has to get a hold of.
Your first round of defense is going to be Lori, and Lori's going to call me, and then we're going to talk about the claim, and then I fill out the claims and send it down to claims associate. In the meantime, I call Lynn and Dave, where are we at, what can we do, and how can we do it? The local incident that we had with law enforcement here, they had somebody up here within 24 hours to do a debriefing for the law enforcement officers. That's how fast the pool works, which is remarkable. And that's a free benefit. So if they come shooting at you, Craig, we can get you free. Any questions on anything we presented? I know it's long. Insurance is boring to most people, but we have, I thrive on that. The more you know about that, the more you can work claims. Tell me how the claim happened, and I'll tell you how the claim happened, and that's what we'll turn in. We're here to work for you.
Larry, this is a $100,000 decision for us, and we appreciate you folks coming up here. A lot of good information. We're going to have another meeting here before July 1st where we get a chance to sit down and compare a few things, and I'm confident we'll be on phone with you with some questions. And
In the meantime, we'll go and take care of your other questions that you asked, and we'll see if we can help you. We want your business. We appreciate your business. We'll work our butts off to keep our business and make you happy. So that's all I can promise.
Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Lynn.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Okay, we'll keep things moving. Motion to approve the minutes of the May 11th meeting.
So
Thank you, Jamie. Second, Joel. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the financial statements.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second. Thank you, Jamie. Second. Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. Discussion?
Can I back up 1 second? Lori, we have yet to receive the $175,000 in utility taxes.
You're correct.
Why?
Because that's how it is every year. We get it, I have to put it on my books, but we actually don't receive some of it until August.
Okay.
I usually ask that question every year. This is the
Tom
first
asks me
year.
that every single year.
I'm pretty.
But it is coming. It does always come.
Okay.
He asked me that also. Can we just take that off? No, we get it.
They should stop it and ask you questions.
Yeah.
Okay. As to the claims, gentlemen, any concerns?
NESC, are they just charging us as normal the last few months?
Yes.
Okay. And we've been receiving the services, correct? For the most part?
They're providing the services as best they can.
Online.
There hasn't been any face-to-face services that I'm aware of. but they're trying to do things virtually. I don't know if Mr. Case will talk about the ESY, because ESY's extended school year programs or services in the summertime. There's discussion and debate as to whether or not we're going to do face-to-face, the expectation. And when I say the discussion and debate, it really depends on not just the service providers and co-op, but also the parents.
Did they pay their staff all the way through?
Yes, they have done pretty much what school districts have done, yes.
Okay.
And for the extended school year, we will be going ahead and we will be doing face-to-face unless you guys say no or we shouldn't do that. But so yeah, they will come back into the picture and work with those parents that are willing to work with them.
As long as we're paying the bill, I wanted to make sure.
Okay. Anything else on claims? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to set the time and place for the budget hearing for fiscal year, what would that be, 2021? 2020 and 2021.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Okay. So usually we have that on our first board meeting, correct?
Yes, we have the budget hearing at 7 p.m. on July 13th, and then our regular July meeting follows right after that.
We all good with that, gentlemen?
Yep.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the 2020-2021 contracts.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second, Joel. Discussion?
Are they all back?
Yes.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve contract of, and I apologize getting to my notes. Who is it?
South Dakota High School Activities Association membership for 2021.
Thank you. South Dakota High School what exactly Lori said. There, I found it now.
So moved.
Thank you, Jamie. Second?
Second.
Discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to accept the resignation of Brooke Johnson, art teacher and cross-country coach.
Did he miss a point?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
She's taken a position in Rapid City, so they're going to relocate. I had more discussion about vacant positions later in my report.
Back up.
With the standard thanks and everything, I know she was a very good art teacher, heard a lot of good things about what she did, and we've been lucky with the art teachers we've had at the Webster School District, so we'll miss Brooke Johnson. Thanks for everything she did. That being said, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve the contract of Cheryl McCurry at head cross-country coach. I missed that.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Joel. Discussion?
How many head coach openings do we have?
Is that now, or are we going to discuss later?
Later?
I don't, I mean,
Oh, that's all right.
it's all words, but I think we've got one left.
It's nice to see Cheryl for cross-country. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to approve canvass of election.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second?
Second.
Okay.
And I do have the poll book here if anyone questions any of the numbers. It's here for review.
Congratulations, Aaron. Thank you for coming tonight and getting hopefully brought up to speed a little bit. And congratulations to Jamie on enjoying 9 years, and I'm sure we'll be talking about it a little bit more here in July. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Motion to move into executive session in regards to the transportation contract.
So moved.
Thank you, Jamie. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Marty. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We will step out so you guys don't have to move, and then we'll be right back in. Hopefully it won't be too long on this one. Now let's go down to the room down there that we did before.
Maybe shut it off, turn it on again.
I didn't bring my, you got your.
Any better out there?
It's not that. We are online. Let's, yeah, the cooling system.
Winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislic special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislic special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislic special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislic special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
Winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement, challenges, and achievement. Farmers Union Insurance can provide you the safety net to keep you moving toward your goals and enjoying life's rewards. With multiple locations across the state, Farmers Union Insurance agents provide quick quotes and professional services you deserve. Since 1948, Farmers Union Insurance has focused on insuring the people of South Dakota. From the most remote quarter section to the busiest intersection, Farmers Union Insurance, insuring a brighter tomorrow.
January is a great time to take a look at a brand new Buick from Dave Haler Automotive in Webster. We've got 0% interest for up to 72 months on the 2019 Buick Enclave, Buick Envision, and the Buick Encore. We got a great selection of these vehicles, so come take a look. Also, if you have a GM card, check your statement for extra earnings this month. Dave Haler Automotive, East Highway 12 in Webster, on the web, halerauto.com.
The Galley Hotel Bar and Grill is on Highway 12 in Webster. Comfortable non-smoking rooms and their steakhouse and bar are open 7 days a week with the grill opening daily at 5 p.m. Daily specials and popular Wings Wednesdays with over 14 sauces with traditional bone-in or boneless wings. Thursdays feature Chislick special night and their slow-cooked prime rib is served on Friday and Saturday nights. Check them out on Facebook or call 605-345-9989 for reservations.
Partnering with champions. RDO does that. Whether it's on the farm, the football field, or in the backyard, RDO prides itself on partnering with champions. For over 100 years, John Deere has been a champion of building the finest compact tractors available. Let RDO Equipment Company be your compact tractor sales and service champion. Plus, with 0% financing available, there's never been a better time to purchase your next compact tractor. Don't miss your chance to discover the RDO Equipment Company difference for yourself. Visit RDOequipment.com to find a dealer near you.
At A&W, it's called the original Bacon Double Cheeseburger because we invented it. You're welcome, world. 100% U.S. beef, crispy hickory smoked bacon, invented and perfected here. Not to mention, it's just better with made fresh A&W root beer. At participating restaurants, prices may vary. Tax extra. At A&W,
winning isn't everything. It's how you play the game that counts. If your values tell you the same, let's start a new conversation about money. At Thrivent Financial, we believe money is a tool, not a goal. Because it's not just about making more, it's about doing more. For your family, church, and community. Call Webster Thrivent Financial today at 605-345-3635.
Even simple tasks of everyday life can be overwhelming after an illness or injury. When you're facing physical challenges, physical therapy services at Sanford Health can provide the extra support you need. Our integrated team will help you regain your mobility and strength, getting you back to daily activities as safely as possible. We will focus on your recovery so you can get back to feeling more like you. To make an appointment at Sanford Health in Webster, call 605-588-3186.
Life's an adventure filled with excitement,
Our
challenge.
session, can we have a motion to table the transportation contract until Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. at a special board meeting?
So moved.
Thank you, Joel.
Second.
Thank you, Marty. bottom line, we want to have Kevin come in on Wednesday morning and discuss some finer points of the transportation contract. It will be an executive session for negotiations. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. All right, motion to approve the reopening phases for facilities.
So moved.
Thank you, Larry. Second?
Second.
Thank you, Jamie. Discussion? Hey, Adam. Nice to see you. How you doing?
I'm all right.
So tell us how we're going to get everything reopened. What's your thoughts?
Basically what we're going to do is we're just going to follow what the South Dakota High School Athletic Association wants us to do, which is a series of 3 phases. The first phase is just is a very conservative phase. This is the one where you probably heard the news, like you can't even pass a ball from one individual to another. They want to go 14 days of that, followed by another one where, okay, you can do drills where there's a ball involved, you can do that, and then followed by phase 3, where you can go ahead, excuse me, you can go ahead and you can, it's pretty much back to normal. There's still a lot of cautionary stuff that wrestling and football would need to do, but it's pretty basic. We've basically started phase 1 starting June 1, and we could have, which puts us in our phase 2 stuff. The coaches are aware of this stuff. If they want to open things up, all I ask them to do is bring me a plan that's going to show me how they're going to follow the guidelines. Once we have it sorted out on what they need to do, then they're all go.
Are you getting anything from the coaches as far as do they want to start, get the weight rooms going, I'm working on, I got something from the wrestlers for their weight room. I think they might have started today. Pole vault started in phase 1. So one of the things they also did was each sport, it can't be equal, right? You've got cross country and wrestling or football, the nature of the sport is very different. So cross country, of course, those guys could have started, I guess, without any coaching direction. They could have started, in March. But with coaching direction, they could have started June 1. Pole vault is a medium contact sport because they're landing all in the same pit. So our pole vault coach, Kevin Goomwald, got 4 tarps, and so a kid lands in the tarp or lands in the pit on a tarp, right? Then he takes that contact surface and he changes it to the other side of the tarp so a second person can jump on it. So with 4 tarps, you can have 8 kids jump. It's a lot of dedication to get through 2 weeks of practice. But he went Tuesdays and Thursdays with that.
Are there different schools or areas with running different programs? I mean, obviously there's some Webster kids, mine included, going to Watertown already, working out and lifting with other kids. I mean, is there any, our weight room is not going to be open, you're saying, for another week, and then will it be open for?
I'm hoping to, even, part of my problem is they can limit it to 10 people in a room. And so I'm trying to figure out equity in this. And so that for me is a problem. The other one was, quite honestly, I wanted to see the board's reaction as far as allowing access to the armory. That's a big deal to me. And so I wanted to wait. I think when it comes to open gyms, I'm just gonna, I asked my coaches, I think I'm just gonna leave it to them. As far as volleyball is concerned, I've kind of, until we have everybody in place, I've taken over volleyball. So on the 15th, when we're in phase 2, where they can pass the ball to some other people, we've got a coach coming in to help with that, with kids from 9 through 12, and then we'll go to phase 3. And as our coaches, as they come in and they want to do stuff they can, I'm going to go ahead and do, I'm going to try to get our people like we did last year and then see who signs up, and then try to get them in sessions, try to create some equitable situations. I know a lot of our friends, for instance, I saw the reopening plans in Sturgis, Brandon Valley, Watertown, some bigger schools, and they've got Sanford Power, or they've got a program that is done privately, and so those folks are moving on that. I talked to the folks who are running Sanford Power here in Webster. It sounds to me like they're probably just going to mail it in for the year. I know we've had, my understanding is we have 15 going down to Watertown. So with the different phases and whatnot, obviously those programs don't have to follow that. But for me, with the school, for me, it's like my guidelines are, that's what I prefer to go by.
So you are gonna try to line up the people that we had last year that managed and get the weight rooms open?
It won't be necessarily both people who were last year, maybe one. I haven't heard back from them. I'm hoping, the goal was to try to get this opened up as close to June 1 as possible. It got late in the last week, and I thought, let's just see where you guys are at. But if things go off with no other changes, then where I'm at is I'll try to get it going as soon as possible.
Great. In my opinion, that's great.
And I know we didn't really specify, what about the public? I mean, are we gonna open up to them on the 14th, 15th? I mean, I get asked, I know that the Armory and the weight room there are well used, and there's people who are chomping to get in there.
Well, I don't mind being the fall guy for that. If you want to tell them, the athletic director doesn't want them in there, I'm more happy to say it.
Adam, I'll take the fall for it too, if our kids are using it.
Well,
I want to make sure that the kids are using it, and we've got the staff down there. Get them in there.
I think it's a fantastic point, Joel. I can't guarantee it. That's where I can't guarantee it. So if the answer is to open it up to the public, or I'm the one who's going to take the hit because the kids don't use it, I'll take that. I'll take that as a chance. My job is to look after the best interests of the kids and contact tracing and what the state wants in order to make sure that if we do have something that we can isolate it, we can ensure the safety of our kids. I'm all on board. If we get to July 15 and things are going well, and you know what, we can reassess and maybe we should open it up. I'm willing to do that. But I think, as these phases go through, they're 14 days, they're consecutive days, and if we end up having something and then we go back, I personally don't feel a need to have the agility to work for the public in my position. I don't feel that need. I have other.
So let's say this. Am I getting the feeling from the board, just so we can give you guidance, Adam, that our goal is to be aggressive with getting the Armory back open to our student athletes and coaches? We respect the public wanting to get in there. I'd love to be in there lifting weights. I like that weight room. But at least we've got another school board meeting coming up on Monday, July 13th, is that, I think, or is it July 11th?
July 13th.
July 13th. That way we can revisit the public question as to, our non-student athletes. But I think the board's position, from what Joel was saying, and I was watching the head nods go around the table, let's go ahead and be aggressive with trying to get our student athletes back there. And we understand if some of the student athletes, parents may not want them there right away, or because of their COVID concerns. But if they want to be there and our coaches want to be there, feel free to get to us, Adam, as to what we need to do to help make that happen for you. Is that a fair statement, what the board's saying?
Yes.
Are you good with that, Adam?
I appreciate it, yeah.
We'll back you on that, okay? All right, and then let's get that information. That was a nice, are you sending out that little blurb that you sent to us in the packet? Can that get out to John, or to just people in the general public as to what our reopening plan is, or is that already out there?
He has it, he gets a packet, John has it.
Perfect. Okay. All right, Moving on to discussion items. Superintendent report, Dr. Block.
All right, I've got a handful of things. First and foremost, graduation is scheduled for June 21st. It's Sunday at 5 p.m. I just want to say that it is not our intent to make parents and students unhappy when decisions are made about graduation, but that appears to be what happens just about every time a new decision or a new announcement of graduation is made. It is at 5 o'clock. Those who can participate in the parade may, those who choose not to may not. It's up to them. We did suggest that students can set up tents because of other schools that did that, where people can drop off the gifts and things like that, because that's one of the things that I have heard from community members is, are you going to have the tables for the graduates? Well, we didn't plan on taking a bunch of tables down to the football field. In the Armory, it's convenient to do. We can set them up in the back. We can still set some things up in the Armory, but we'd prefer not to have that traffic in the facility when we're trying to do stuff at the football field anyway. So a compromise to that is people who would like to may bring gifts to the high school office, and we'll make sure we get them to the graduates the day of graduation, if that's what they so choose. I believe that the majority of the community is just sending cards and a gift in that manner, in the mail. Might be the best way to do it. But again, if parents and students do not want to participate in the tents, not a big deal. If they don't want to participate in the parade afterwards, not a big deal. We just simply were providing options because every time another community had a graduation and they heard it, somebody's like, oh, that's pretty cool, that's pretty neat. So I really believe what's happened is we have too many options and too many changes in it. So it's June 21st at 5 o'clock at the football field. Inclement weather-wise will be in the Armory. And we allow 6 family members or people to be at the football field per graduate. If it has to go into the Armory due to inclement weather, it's down to 2 per graduate. And that's just in God's hands. I know what happens with weather that day.
Yep.
Vacant positions. I've discussed with you the high school science. It has been advertised, still haven't had any applicants, even after we have semi-announced that we're probably not going to fill the position anyway. I do have some plans with that. They're not foolproof plans. I do have one person that has agreed to take on the pre-algebra, which is one of the courses that was taught by Mr. Ruby. That particular class, I can have a certified math teacher teach that with an agreement or a contract. The physical science are the other 2 sections that are necessary with that particular position. The physical science in the fall we can probably make work pretty easy. I've got the schedule in front of me. Basically, just in a quick summary, what would happen is our PE and recreational sports for high school students would be eliminated. Those students that are in that class would have to find a different one. Mr. Brown would take back the junior high PE during last period in the fall, and then Mr. Brown could take physical science 3rd period and then have prep periods last 4th period. That one is pretty straightforward. You know what you're losing. You're losing that PE class for high school students. I don't know how many kids are actually listed in that class, but that's who would be affected by that decision. In the spring, it's not as easy. Physical science is offered 1st period. Mr. Tobin is already teaching 7th or 8th grade science 1st and 2nd period. And so physical science has to go to 3rd period or 4th period. And because I have to move that, it causes a domino effect. I don't know how extensive that will be. We believe, and I say we as in Mrs. Miller and I have looked at this about 2-3 weeks ago, we believe we can swap like the geometry and the physical science. It's going to affect, most of those kids are going to be able to swap period for period, but it might affect 9 to 12 kids that are going to lose a class that they have and maybe have to take something different. Worst case scenario is there is probably an elective that they may take or have to take that they don't want to. That typically happens with freshman students anyway, because your juniors and seniors get to register first, and so they fill up other spots long before the freshmen get. That's just a real brief scenario of what could happen with the science position. We do have an art position open. I've had a few people that have clicked on the opening in the Associated School Board's teacher search engine. No applicants. So we will have...
see who's looking?
Can't, no. I can go out and see who's listed, I believe I can go out and see who's listed as potential art teachers, but that includes an art teacher that really doesn't plan on leaving or doing anything, they just have signed up for art openings. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It might be somebody that's never going to leave Sioux Falls, but curious as to what might be out there. And so, even if I looked at that list, it might be pretty bleak or difficult to figure out anybody that's active.
I mean, if we could get a list, Larry can make some phone calls.
And so, with that, I've got to start brainstorming what we have for options. I don't have those yet. I'm thinking about some things, but that's stuff that we'll have to really look at.
Jim, just so, I mean, I think it's important for the community to know, is it more than 3 clicks?
We were up to 6.
6 clicks?
Yep.
And that could be somebody that
I'm
didn't
going to
have
say
more than
this
once.
jokingly, but seriously, a couple of those clicks might be Darlene Doolin's.
Sure.
As a retired teacher, she's like, what? There's an art opening. She might have clicked on it and maybe looked at it again. I did have to reopen it because I only had it advertised, and I used the default dates, which was 2 to 3 weeks, and it closed on me. So then I reopened it, and then I got another 6. And out of those 6, 3 of the first ones might be 3 of those second. I will say this, with art, yes, is an elective. Can we cut art? I don't think we should. I don't think we should cut it. I don't think we should cut it in half. I think it's an important program. We would be doing a disservice to our students in their ability to use a different medium to express themselves. And I'm sounding like an art person, and I'm not. I'm a math teacher. But it's really necessary in our society, I believe. If we got rid of art, every single student would have to take band or choir in high school at least 1 semester to get their credit that's required to graduate. That's not fair to the kids that want to be in band and choir. That's not fair to the kids that don't want to be in band and choir, and that is not fair to the instructor. It's not a good scenario to eliminate them. Other school districts that don't have a full-fledged art program like we have, they're finding it through online. And I don't know how effective online teaching is for art. To me, it's more of a hands-on, and it's probably a better situation if you do actually have a person on site. Doable if you're only offering 1 art class in order for kids to get their art credit.
Do we have, I mean, you know, can we think outside of the box? Are there other teachers in the different wings of the building that could potentially, you know, I'm going to throw in an elementary teacher. Is there an elementary teacher out there that we could bring up to teach art because there's more applicants out there, you know, for an elementary teacher? I mean, could we?
They're pretty full during the day as is, Joe.
Well, he's talking about like you
somebody
change
from-
an assignment.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't looked in depthly, but I will tell you that the ones that I've thought about don't have any art whatsoever. I go in and look at, we use something called 411. It's basically the teacher search in South Dakota. If you are a teacher in South Dakota, you're currently teaching or you're listed in the certification, I can click on it and I can see exactly what you are certified to teach.
So they have to be certified in art?
Oh, yes, yes. We do have 2 options for non-certified. One is called an art permit. And there are other people other districts that are using this. Summit uses it for their music teacher. If you have 5 years or more of experience in that field, you can get an art permit. The art permit is just a 1-year basis. Every year you have to get permission to do it. Well, I don't know too many people that have 5 years of art experience as a professional artist or a teacher that maybe has, you know, lost their certification or let their certification go, that we can utilize that. The other is to change it into a certified career and tech ed program, and then you can do alternate certification, but then you need the 5 years of experience, similar like Bo Larson did. He had 17 years of construction experience. We could get him certified. And a certification isn't just, okay, yep, Bo's got 17 years, here you go. You have to take some classes.
He had to work at it, so.
Some coursework, So I'm looking at all of those scenarios, and I have to come up with something here in the short term, because we've got to start figuring out what we can do with this schedule so we can get the registration complete and have students in classes come fall. Any other questions on the vacancies?
The next thing that I have on here is flex learning. I have reviewed all of the parent surveys specifically for each teacher. And then I shared the surveys with the teachers so they can see their results. And so really the best information for them is the survey. It's best for the teachers. What they get for individual results is what they need to reflect on as teachers and figure out what will be best for their practices come next year. Did they do enough of the communication? Did they give the right amount for assignments? Were the assignments difficult enough, challenging enough? Did they communicate enough with the interactive, I call it interactive video, the Zoom or the Skype or whatever? We have to look at those. Now beyond that, there's two things that are coming down from the state. One is called Starting Well 2020, and there's a committee that's put together that is going to give some guidance on how we make our facility and our procedures and practices safe for returning to school. The other part that I hope we get a little bit more from is what are the best practices for distance learning. And that's what I want us to do with our own committee. I have had some teachers show some interest in serving on a committee. I've had some teachers that have shown some interest in providing summer services if we want to do some remediation with some students. And so those are things that we have to look at. That's also part of that CARES Act money. We have to figure out, get our application put in, get things approved for the things that we want to do, and start doing that. We're already in the middle of June. We need to get something going. We have to have things in place in July to do any remediation services and or training, because middle of August, we're coming back to school. So it's good information. The survey really didn't give a whole lot different than what the general survey gave that I did immediately, or about partway through the flex learning process. I will say that the response was lower than what I anticipated, because I asked the teachers to send the survey directly to the parents of their particular students. And you can tell, I believe you can tell, which teachers had more interaction with the parents during the distance learning versus those that did not. And trend-wise, secondary, there's lower returns on the secondary level. That's kind of commonplace with even the communication at the elementary versus the secondary in a normal school system. But it's very possible some parents were just like, we just finished all of this stuff and now you want me to fill out a survey. I'm guessing some of that did come into play as like, I already did a survey a few weeks ago, kids are done, I really am not too concerned about it at this particular point. Those that had genuine concerns, I believe, did share their concerns. So, anything regarding flex learning, or you might hear me start calling it remote learning, because that's what I keep seeing from the state now. I don't know where flex came from, if I came up with that myself. I thought it came from somebody else, but I've been using flex learning, and now everything that I see is now remote learning. So.
Well, I think it is important that you set up this committee, and I mean, while it's still fresh in everybody's mind, let's figure out what worked and what didn't work, because we need to have a plan come fall. I mean, I hope we're coming back to school, but we need to have plans in place. And I would think that this committee could help drive that.
I would say two goals are the same goals that I mentioned that I hope we get some guidance from the state. One is how do we make things safe in our procedures on a daily basis, physically safe. And number two, or probably more importantly, is what do we do for best practices with distance learning if we have to continue to do it, or if we get into school and we end up going to that, or if we start school at in that manner. So there's a lot of what ifs. I've had a lot of people ask me, what are we going to do in the fall? And my response is, I don't know yet. Only time will tell. As we get closer to the school district, or the start of the school year, that will help us determine whether we can start normally or not. I will say this, and I have no problem saying this publicly, if there truly is a situation where we've got to follow, let's say, the CDC guidelines right now for busing and the number of kids that you can have in a classroom and the social distancing and everything in the classroom, I would say to you folks, as your superintendent, my recommendation is, let's delay school start if we're following CDC guidelines. I'm not going to say unreasonable, because it's necessary,
but unreasonable to manage a school system and run a school system. I just don't see the reason we would start early or on time if we could delay it and start later and do it more normal. Does that make sense? Because if you're talking about kids in every other seat on the bus, kids in every other desk in a classroom, how do we determine which kids come to school on which days? I mean, there's just such craziness involved with trying to coordinate that. The physical space would not allow us to have all of our students in school on any given day. It's just not possible if you follow the CDC guidelines. So, I have a person that has contacted me regarding, I have it listed there as teacher recognition proposal. And the person wants to remain anonymous. He is a graduate of Webster, and his wife passed away a couple of years ago, and they did this in her hometown. I think they provided a bench, they donated it, they had people in her class donated it, placed it on the campus somewhere, and it basically was kind of a memorial honoring teachers, administrators, support staff members that really had a positive impact for those who were donating the item. He would like to start something like that, and if it could turn into something a little bit larger, but he wants blessing from the board, blessing from me as an administrator, and potentially some thoughts as to where something like this could be placed on our campus. And when I say on our campus, this is more of an outdoor thing. His wife and he provided a bench on the school grounds of her high school or her elementary school. And it's just honoring the teachers that had a positive impact on her. It's possible that you could have a bench in one area and then 5 years later maybe there's another group or another set of graduates that say, we'd like to honor these folks. The only thing that I guess I would question is, what kind of criteria do we put together for this? Is it teacher longevity? Is it administrators? Is it, how do you determine who could be on these plaques? And if it's determined specifically by the groups of people that believe they had an impact on with these particular people, then that would be the question that I have. So, I'm not asking for permission to do this. I'm looking for, is there a blessing here to move forward? They would pay for it. It wouldn't be any cost to the school district. Move forward in the thought process as to what kind of things can we look at for a monument or a bench or a plaque or whatever, locations, or is it something we want to stay away from?
No, I think if somebody's willing to do it, to get somebody recognized, that's for the right reasons. I mean, number one, I don't see anything wrong with it. And as far as a place, I mean, I think an outside bench or an inside plaque, whatever, I guess, at your discretion. I can't see any of us having a problem with moving forward
I'll use just one example. Principal Lohman is one of the names that this gentleman had mentioned. And I Googled it. I didn't know who he was. I did go back into some of the yearbooks to see who he was. He just passed away in January. And your parents know him very well.
Talking about
Vern Lohman, yeah. He just passed away in January. And when I did go read his obituary, there were many, many, many comments below of students and or coworkers, because I think your dad was a teacher under him when he first started teaching. And so it's people like that that this particular gentleman and his generation are looking at honoring. This Mr. Lohman was here for, I don't know, 26 years or something like that as the principal.
I agree with Jamie. I think that, just two things that, number one, obviously we would have veto authority if it was something inappropriate. I mean, we're not opened up to just every donation. Sometimes donations can be inappropriate. But, I mean, that's a rare minority. And number two, as we've discussed things for the last 2.5 hours and everything that's on your plate and Lori's plate over the next 45 days, I do believe as to the prioritization of work, while it may not cost us money, if it takes up a lot of your time, it does cost us. So, I mean, it's just, yep, we're good with it, as long as they also understand that we've got some pretty high priorities to knock out, and it may not be number one priority at this time.
I didn't respond to him for many, many days, and then received a second email, and I just said, I've got a lot of things going on.
I'll listen to you and we'll go from there, and so that's kind of where it's been.
Are we good with that? I mean, Jamie said, yeah, Larry, good?
Yes.
Joel, Marty, sounds good.
The last thing that I have, I don't have it listed on here, I did want to present this to you guys. We did have these folks come last year, and in light of this whole COVID thing, you can just look at it and pass it down. In light of this whole COVID situation, I don't know if this is a proper time to seriously look at updating our website. But this Apogee is more of an interactive site with mobile apps. And Mr. Case and myself and Tammy sat in again on another webinar, and we did this a year ago. I think this is like the third time that I've seen this. 2 area school districts that have it are Groton and Millbank. I did contact both of their superintendents, and they do like the user-friendly part of it. I asked if it's worth the cost, because I'll get to that in a minute. It is expensive in comparison to what we're currently doing. Groton said that we were in the market for a website upgrade and didn't feel that their price scheme was any worse than the others that had given them a price. They've enjoyed the apps as another way to get information out to the people. Push notifications. If we had something like this, Mr. Case, myself, and anybody else we give access to can push notifications out. The same message we can just click on Facebook, Twitter, whatever else exists, and whatever's going to exist in the future, they're going to have them with quick buttons. And so therefore, you get a lot more spread. The thing that I do like about this is it's more of a marketing thing for our school district. And I say that in the sense that we're not a business, but we are a school, and we have to market ourselves as a school. We're losing kids to Waubee, we're losing kids to Summit, we're losing kids to other districts in the area. And I'm not saying that this would solve all that issue, but we have to start looking at our image as a district,
Yes.
what we do as a district, policies, procedures, how we handle things, and this is a part of that. And so, the school messenger part, we get that through Infinite Campus. Groton did as well, and they have foregone that. So they pay a higher price for this Apogee, but it was the difference in price was decreased by getting rid of the per pupil cost for the calling system that we use in Infinite Campus. We could see the same thing. Excuse me. I asked if it's user-friendly. He said very easy to use. Connectivity platforms. They update with something called ThrillShare account. It's the back end of the site. He says they cross-post on all kinds of social media, and things go out a lot more. Did it relieve any responsibilities for your tech coordinator or cause more work? He said, unfortunately, I do most of the web updating because he doesn't like to wait for the things to be posted, and people don't like for it to be wait for it to be posted. And because he's one of the guys that has the contact, he just reposts things quickly. He said it usually only takes a few seconds to do it, but it's him and the principals that pretty much are using the site more often than their tech coordinator. Transferring over, it is expensive to do that. We spent about $10,000 to transfer our website from our original one that Clyde Shoemake developed back in, 2000. And we converted to this particular website, and it was about $9,000, $10,000 to convert all that information. Did you feel their services were beneficial during the COVID-19 situation? Most beneficial was the use of the app and push notifications. They wouldn't have had that otherwise. They relied on their caller system. Relied on their calling system very little, which is probably good, as it is proven not to be dependable all the time. So that was what he had to say about. He said it does carry a pretty heavy tag price, but he would sign up again and use it again. Now here's the money part of it.
That was Groton that said that?
That's Groton.
Okay.
Similar comments from Millbank, but not as detailed. And if you knew the superintendent, you understand why. So the next thing that I would say is the money. We currently spend about $2,000 on our calling system and our web hosting. This would cost On an annual basis, it would cost $7,000 a year, so you're looking at $5,000 difference. To convert, if we, of course, there's always the throwback, they're looking at trying to get people to sign on sooner than later because they know there's going to be a lot of people after July 1 kick in because of the budget, the way the budget works for a school system. We get a $2,000 decrease in conversion if we sign up before June or before July 1, and the conversion is $7,000. So it would be $14,000 in year 1 and $7,000 thereafter per year.
Jim, would we be able to use COVID money for that, being it would be an increase?
I don't know, but we would certainly be looking at it. If it's legally possible, we would absolutely do it, and mainly as we need to upgrade our websites in order to have better communication. Would they approve it? I don't know.
But if we do it before July 1, it's only 5? Is that what you said?
No, it would be $9,000 for the conversion instead of 7. 7 per year, 7 for the conversion. If we do it after July 1, it's 9 for the conversion.
Oh, I see.
So it'd be 16 versus 14 total the first year. I will tell you that I am aware.
July 1 and COVID approved it, that would save our capital outlay money, and then we just have to pick up the annual cost from here on out. Do you know what I mean?
Very good point. It's not stealing from Peter to pay Paul because it's money that we're getting through
Because
the
this
CARES
COVID
Act,
money is
but it wouldn't affect
restricted.
our general fund or capital outlay, so that's a good point. We'd be paying more for the service, but it would be using other funds.
But if the, now just playing devil's advocate too, I mean, if we have to wait till the CARES till August, September, it almost defeats the purpose of having it this year, does it not?
I don't know how long.
I think getting it at any time is going to be an improvement.
You never mentioned how long the conversion would be.
I do know that converting web pages is a lengthy process.
It's a very time-consuming process. We're doing it right now.
The only thing I'm throwing out is I do think we have to update our web thing. That is one thing I hear from a lot of parents, a lot of moms. I think that this would be money well spent, and I'd be all for it. I mean, at the same time, I like being able to use the CARES money, but maybe there's still enough areas that we could find that $95,000, to be quite frank, to use CARES money. This is the type of thing that I think when you talk about, we are in competition, and we have to push the needle, and I think this kind of goes with that. I'd actually be in favor of pushing the needle forward on that this year, rather than waiting for the CARES. I would be in favor of getting this done, because I think this is a big change for our student body and our parents.
One thing that we might find is our technology could be the difference between 6 clicks and 8 clicks on a teacher.
That is one of the things that they show you in the seminar, or in the webinar, or whatever you want to call it, that Zoom session. When you click on something, it just takes you to a document versus an app or the item that you're looking for. To go see our menu, he actually went, that's how many clicks it took to go see your menu. This is what you would do if it's on our site. Click, there it is. And they have 2 options for menus. They have the whole month and the day. At one click or 2 clicks total.
Right.
So there's some moms that if you don't give them the whole month, you're in trouble. And then there's others that you don't need to see the whole month, you just want to see what's for lunch that day.
Who would head up this migration process?
Their company. They would basically, they've already sort of looked at what our site is and made a template of what it would look like. That's what's in those items.
Gentlemen, I'd propose we throw this on as an action item on Wednesday's agenda. That way, we can have time to think about it. If the community wants to get back to us, we can be able to give Jim a thumbs up and down Wednesday morning. How's that sound?
I'm good.
I'm good. All right.
All right. I believe that's all I have.
Okay. Mr. Case, principal report.
Last month, I brought to you the driver's ed information that we would start on June 15th. We would assess the COVID situation at this point in time. I discussed with Dr. Block, and at this point in time, the COVID situation is not that severe in this area. So I want to move ahead and go ahead with driver's ed on June 15th. We would take some safeguards. We would have the class in the elementary gym, and we would spread out the desks so they're 6 feet apart. I talked to Mr. Nygaard already, and he's comfortable with putting a screen up there, a projector, computer, and if he needs a VCR, DVD player, we can do that, but he can run most of his videos through the computer. And then, bathroom break-wise, the kids go there one at a time. We try to keep social distance apart. The other thing would be, I talked to Dr. Block today too, and at first I thought about, sending the kids out at lunch like they have in the past, but I think the best thing to do, if we have them stay in the gym and bring their lunch, keep them in there and keep them from running around or going to Casey's and maybe coming in contact with somebody. And that way we can kind of keep an eye on them the whole time that they're here. So we'll start Monday, 8 o'clock, go till 4:30, Monday through Wednesday. And then Thursday, they just go from 8 o'clock to 2:30. So, what's that? Oh yeah, we talked about thermometers. So we do have, I talked to Mrs. Gaikowski, the nurse, and she gave me a thermometer. So each kid that comes in to the class, I haven't talked to Mr. Nygaard yet, but we'll take their temp and ask those 3 questions of them. And then we'll have them the whole day, so we won't have to do the thermometer again until the next morning. And then I'll talk to the custodians about wiping down, make sure everything's wiped down and clean before the start of class the next day. So we'll try to keep it as safe as possible, but I think we need to go ahead. But if you guys are against it, let me know. Driving wise, once we get in the car, I did talk to Mr. Nygaard. He's out in Redfield, and he said with the driving out there, the driver will not have a mask on, but the instructor sitting in the passenger side will have a mask, and then the student sitting in the back will also have a mask. And why wouldn't the driver have a mask on? Well, number one, as an instructor, it might be, harming them, or it might be, might slip up over their eyes or something, and we don't want that to happen. So as long as the instructor is masked and the one in the back, I think we'll be fine with that. And again, we'll be wiping down the steering wheel and taking those precautions too. So I suppose with that, we'll have to do temperature checks also with that. But I think as Mr. Vine's still here, I think they're not doing temperature checks when the last day is June 29th, the Activities Association.
All things being equal, we'll be done taking temperatures on the 29th of June.
So I think we would follow what they're recommending also. So any questions on the driver's ed? I think we're going to go ahead, and if any parents have a concern, they can let me know, and I'll send out another email to those parents, hopefully tomorrow, and kind of let them know what the guidelines are. Once I have all the guidelines, I'll push that out to them. Same thing with the extended school year. We'll be taking some safeguards. It's more of a one-on-one there, so we can keep a 6-foot distance there, and if they do have to get closer, I'll have the instructor wear a mask. Same thing there. We'll be cleaning things, cleaning surfaces, and just keeping an eye on things with summer services. So, and I will send the guidelines out to all the staff working with those kiddos too. Any questions on that?
Sounds good, Craig.
Yeah, those are the only 2 things I had right now.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Case. NESC?
Well, yeah, we actually mentioned it earlier, the face-to-face versus virtual was one of the discussion items. And then the last meeting that I attended, it's all been via Zoom, phone, whatever. We just discussed the preliminary budgets and summer office hours, staffing.
Okay. Building and grounds.
Continue to work on capital outlay project list for the summer. And if I seem a little exasperated, our budget is what causes the issue, our budget year. Everything starts July 1, and we basically try to put everything in place for getting work done after July 1, but before August 15th. It's 6 weeks, and we've got to get everything done prior to the school year. And so it's just a frustration. I have received some quotes on doors, the elementary doors coming out to the playground. I'm still waiting on some information from Greg Johnson regarding the foundation part. House of Glass, they really don't want to install another doorway in there. They will install new doors, which we need to replace, but there's nothing under the threshold. The foundation, the footings they're gone. And so I'm waiting for Greg to get back to me on that. The problem is he may not be able to get to it yet this year, so we may have to go another year with those doors in the condition that they're in. I have looked at a door replacement for the business office entrance. We can't get parts for those bars. You have to push them in and twist like 17 times to keep them unlocked. We have the same type of doors on the northwest corner of the Armory. They're original to the building, 1990, so they're 30 years old. No, it's 30 years. And then the doors to the north entrance to the office space of the Armory, those are, I believe, you might be able to help me, Mike, with that. I don't know that they're original to the 1978 edition, but I think they might have been replaced sometime in the 90s.
Footings are original, the door was replaced in '03.
No, it wasn't, because I was here in '03.
They brought in a company when we were getting deployed, they replaced just that door. There used to be two of them, I think now there's only one.
Yep, you're correct, I remember that.
Well, it's like a normal sized door and then a little partial.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's not a good door.
Terrible shape.
And it was not a good installation.
So with House of Glass, what I asked is, give me 4 different quotes. We might do all 4, we might do 1, we might do 2, we might not do any. It just depends on what comes together with the other pieces of information that I need and our budget. And then there's just a plethora of other things. We contacted Beetle Floral and Landscaping in Aberdeen. I expected him to stop. I didn't tell him it's, massive that we need to get right now, but I was hoping that, he said he was going to do a bunch of work out in Pickle. He probably stopped last week, but I never did get a hold of him. House of Glass came, Hayes Plumbing, contacted me via phone. We're looking at replacing some water fountains with the bottle fillers, just to be a little bit more sanitary and try to take care of that, but I'm still waiting on some folks to get back to me. That will be forthcoming to you folks when we actually have a list to say, here are the things we have, this is the priority we have, these are the things we think are important, you tell us what you think is important, and move forward.
Okay. Moving on then with buildings and grounds, let's hit preliminary budget. We want to have a board meeting here prior to July 1st. Once we have some more information on those capital outlay projects, that board meeting still to be set, just depending on when we can get everybody's calendars lined up. Is that a fair statement?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to anything else on preliminary budget? Moving on to the CARES Act funding.
That's not on my notes, that's why I'm looking for it. How do you build it here? It's on the agenda, and I did ask Lori to put it on there, but I've got, we have some information. We just received information tonight. It was like 4:54 or 5:44 or something like that. The application for the CARES Act is available for us now, so we can start applying for reimbursements if it's something that goes back to March 13th, or things moving forward. It basically is based, there's 2 different funds. There's the
Esther, are you looking for the names of the funds?
Yeah. Okay. There's the Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief Funds. That's ESSER funds. Now, those are an allocation that's based on our title. Allocations are Title I formula, so we don't get to choose what we get. The state just pretty much says that we get this amount. Now, we can get up to $91,000, $92,000 in funds for that. We have to use it for the authorized purposes. And so we're going to do whatever we can to use that money. It would be foolish not to. The other funds are the Governor's Emergency Education Relief Fund. I am not certain about these. I don't know if those are meant more for districts that are going to have a higher need, that maybe have a higher minority population, or a higher percentage of free and reduced lunches, or a higher number of English learners, those types of things. But they do kind of point out some of those things with those GEAR funds. And as I understand it, those are, I don't know if you want to call it a competitive grant, but you apply for those and then you get approved. If you don't get approved, you won't get the money. If you do get approved, you will. But I think it's going to be, here's all this money, and the districts who apply, they will decide which ones get approved. So I believe it's in our best interest to look into things that we can use those funds for as well, and apply if we would so qualify.
Is there a dollar amount in that?
Pardon?
Is there a dollar amount in?
Not specific to the district. The only thing I can tell you for dollar amounts there is that $7.9 million of the GEAR funds is going to be used for K through 12 grants statewide. The remaining, or 5.7 of the 7.9 is going to be used K-12. The remaining 2.2 is going to be used for higher education. So there's $5.7 million for schools like us, K through 12, that can apply for it. And then the 12 items, I'm not going to go through them all, but you know, it's anything associated with all of those groups that I just mentioned, minorities, EL, higher level of free and reduced lunches, developing, implementing procedures. I believe that our committee that we put together does some planning. I believe we can compensate them for doing that planning. Training that we give for our teachers, I believe we can do that. It says here that summer learning services, supplemental school programs, including providing summer instruction, online learning, purchasing of technology that aids in regular and substantive educational interaction between students and their classroom instructors, including low-income students, students with disabilities, purchasing supplies, sanitizing the district or the building. There's a lot of different things. I know that the fear that we're going to have, and I look at Lori when I say this, is, well, we don't want to spend money before we know that it's approved. So we have to apply for it. This is what we want to use it for, get approved, and then move forward with it.
Okay. Any questions for Jim on the CARES Act funding?
Did they give you any sort of a timeline as far as?
2 years, right, Lori?
The ESSER funds are.
The ESSER funds.
Yep, we
You
can
have
do
up
that
to 2 years to
anytime
use it.
between now and September of 2022.
When will they know when will we know what they approve?
As soon as we get the application in.
Is it a deal where?
I think the turnaround is going to be, I hope it's quick.
Would we be able to know by the July 13th board meeting?
We don't know how thorough the application is. And I kind of have to meet with my committee, which I haven't even informed the people that are on the committee. I have those that are interested.
Congratulations.
They know, I suppose.
Here's your sign.
So.
Is it a first come, first served deal with that dollar amount, you know?
Not the ESSER.
Nope, the ESSER, no.
That won't
And
come out of
if
money.
we get it approved, it's kind of like our title funds. If you get it approved and we say we're going to do this, this, and this, and if it doesn't, and then it's a reimbursement thing, so if we don't spend it all, we just don't ask for reimbursement.
But that money won't dry up.
Not the
Yes.
90-some thousand, that's specifically for us. And I don't know about the GEARS funds yet, because they say they still have.
But you have 2 years to
More in
spend the
income.
90 if you're approved.
Correct.
When you say approved, though, it's you're going to have multiple. I mean, we're going to ask for stuff to be approved in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then 6 months from now or 8 months from now, we might have new ideas. We want to use that funds. So I think it's cyclical, and it's not part of the grant. Or maybe that one is part of one of them is part of the grant program where
That's
you
the
guys go
ESSER.
in and do that stuff. Yeah. We need to learn more about it, but we're just kind of waiting to hear from whoever we need to hear from as to if, when, what, and how. The application just went live at 5 o'clock on Friday, so that it was last Friday. So.
Okay. Got executive session for personnel. Motion to move into executive session for personnel.
So moved.
Thank you, Joel. Second? Thank you, Marty. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next meeting will be Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. And we will have one more meeting for budget to be announced.
And insurance.
And insurance to be announced at a later date. And then our next regularly scheduled board meeting is Monday, July 13th. We won't have anything else tonight. Thanks for coming, folks. We'll go into the cooler room for executive session. Thanks, Mike.
Yep.
Thank you, Mike.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mr. Wiley.
Mike, you don't have some art experience, do you?
Yeah, well, I was thinking of a sandwich artist. We have one amongst us that is a sandwich artist.
Yeah, that's right.
I know some graffiti artists.
Yeah. Come on, all right. Out there for us 2 weeks.
Can you close that door?
Thanks for coming.